This is Ahmet, an 18 years old solo builder from Turkey. No team, no funding, just one person who launched a simple AI website that went viral on X, Product Hunt, Reddit, and Hacker News. Pulled in over 50,000 users from China in just a few days, and ended up getting acquired by a $1.7 billion company for over $70,000 at the age of 17. In this interview, we are going to cover how he built and differentiated the product, the exact growth playbook he made it go viral, and how the acquisition actually happened at the age of 17. Before we get into the story, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ahmet. I'm from Turkey. I'm currently 18 years old. And for maybe the past 3 years, I have been building web apps, stuff in AI, mobile apps. I'm really interested in like building SaaS and products.
Are you studying, working, or building full time? And how did you develop your technical background?
I'm currently on a gap year, so I graduated from high school, I think last year, and I'm currently applying to U.S. universities. And at the same time, I'm building, projects and web apps and stuff like that.
What are you planning to study and where exactly in the US and why the US specifically?
I think mostly CS, to be honest. And overall, I guess more than just studying, like mere algorithms, I'm interested in like meeting other people, and also, being in the US is a huge advantage. And if you want to start like a company later on as well, so that's probably like the biggest reason. And I don't think I'll finish like all 4 years. I might drop out, but yeah.
Drop out to build your own ventures or just
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm not sure. It's still like I haven't started yet, but yeah.
What exactly did you build and can you explain it in simple terms?
I think this was maybe around a year ago. I built a website called countless.dev, which let you compare AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and all of them. And all of them have like specific models like GPT 5.0, GPT 5.2. Developers and AI researchers and people just work with these models. They want to compare them. So like which one is good for vision tasks, which one is good for long context stuff, which one is the best for coding and all of that. So I basically built a website to compare them and like show the data.
What made it different from other tools or competitors at the time?
When I built the website, there was only like you couldn't just compare them because like all these companies are different. So like they sometimes when they release a new model, they show the benchmarks. But like if you want to see like all the models that have been released like in the past year or so, which is like hundreds of models, you really can't see them at the same time. And there's like pricing as well. Like that was a big feature of my website where you could like put in like as a calculator and calculate it. And this existed for like OpenAI. Like OpenAI made it, but like it was just their models. But with what I made, you could see all the models and like open source models, like closed source models, and not just LLMs, but like speech to text, text to speech, and other modalities as well.
And how did the business model work?
So the website is free actually. And I was able to get some sponsors, and then later on, I was able to sell the website and the brand for $70,000, which was really helpful. And at the time, I think I was 17. Only a few months ago I turned 18. I originally built the website with Cursor. Right now, like everyone is using it, but at the time, like the models were very bad. This was at the time when we had like GPT-4, which was like the first good model. So I just built like the website and I deployed it. It was free. I posted on Twitter and it went viral. I think it got like 40,000 views, like 500 likes, and a lot of people like just started using it. I then launched it on Hacker News, and like it was the top like post of the day. And afterwards, I launched on Product Hunt, and I was able to get like second product of the day. So I think through this, I got like 20,000 monthly visitors. And afterwards I was able to get some sponsors that wanted to put their brand on the website, and I was able to make some money with that.
How did you get your first users and what worked best to grow with Product Hunt, X, or other platforms?
I think Twitter is very underrated in the tech circle, especially like when you compare it to, I'm not sure, like Instagram or YouTube. I mean, it's much harder to go viral there, but like on Twitter you can just record a demo video, which is what I did. It was like 1 minute video of me like showing the product and explaining it, and then a post that just basically like explained what it was. And since it's free, like it's easy to kind of like get people to use it. People shared it everywhere. Like there were also like a lot of AI repositories as well, where people just put a ton of like AI products. So my website was able to be there as well. So I was able to get like traffic that kind of like every month people would find it organically.
I see a lot of demo videos on Twitter nowadays. Is that something really effective and can give you a lot of traction?
I mean, you can do other platforms as well. Like Reddit worked really well as well. I forgot to mention that. But Reddit, I posted in like 20 subreddits about AI, and at the end, like my account got banned. But like I think I was able to like get a ton of people to see it because I would post it in like all these subreddits, and like each of them got like 20 upvotes. People would find it, and that helped with like the product hunt launch as well, which helped like kind of like establish the product. But I think like Reddit, Twitter, Hacker News is also useful. I would definitely recommend all of them.
How long did it take you to build and launch the product, and were you doing everything yourself?
I was actually building it for a hackathon. Supabase was doing a hackathon. That's what I originally built it for. I think it was over a weekend actually. There were like open source GitHub repositories that had this data, like a project called Light LLM. They had collected all of this data, but they were using it for like enterprise kind of like product stuff, but it was open source. So I was able to like just get that data, create a nice UI on top of that, and then like share it with others.
Can you walk us through the product and show us how it works?
Okay, so this has been modified a bit since it's been a while, like when I had launched it. But basically, you can see all these models, right? These are like Minimax, AM2.5. This is like an open source model. You have AM2.7, and you have information that's kind of helpful. I can see like if it is a text model, if it can accept video, images, sound, the context window, which is basically like how long of a conversation you can have with the model, the price, input price, output price. And this was one of the features people like the calculator. I can show like how many input tokens I want, and then I can see like it costs maybe $200 for input, this much for the output. And you can select like Google, OpenAI, Qwen, and you can also compare them side by side. So you can select like this on this versus compare them part. So it basically has three features. Like when you are just like thinking of finding a model, you can just come here and then find it. So this is like why it was useful to like many people, and it was able to get like 50,000 monthly visitors, like at peak, I think, before I basically sold like the brand.
Looking back, what was the one thing that made the biggest difference? Timing, niche, or distribution?
I think it was a relevant problem, right? Basically, when I sold the brand, I think that was about maybe 5 or 6 months ago, right? And after that, basically I have the project on like another domain. The brand was llmarina.ai, and the domain turned out to be useful because I bought the domain for like I think $200 almost last year, and now like arena style AI apps have been popping up. So that's why like there was like a big startup called LM Arena, and they basically wanted to buy the domain because it was a similar domain to theirs, and like a lot of people were mistaking it, but a lot of traffic was coming to both of us as well. So that's why I was basically able to sell it. But I think it was definitely like timing important. But I was also building with AI apps. So like that's why I had this problem, and that's why I just built like a website for it.
How did the acquisition happen from start to finish, and how did you decide on pricing at your age?
So I originally built the website on the countless.dev domain. A few months after, I just changed the domain because I thought it was nice. The website was growing, like people were using it. And I always knew Ella Marina, they were the big player. What they're doing is different. They're also about comparing the data, but they let you run the models. So it's like crowdsourcing. Actually, I was the one that reached out to them. When I got in contact with them, I talked to the CEO, a board member of theirs. And then it took a while, the price was especially hard because at the beginning they wanted to buy it for cheaper, a couple of $1,000s. But then, I was able to negotiate it for $70,000, which was the final price.
That's really great. Do you think someone can achieve something like this remotely today, or does location like Silicon Valley still matter?
I think location really doesn't matter because, the internet is more or less on open space, right? You can build anything, you can post on Twitter, on Reddit. You don't necessarily have to be in the US. A good example is OpenCloud. It was just built by someone from Austria, right? You would have expected it would be a Silicon Valley company with millions of dollars of funding that would have created this, but it was just an open source. Someone started for fun, right? So I think location is less relevant than ever. You can build something that solves a problem, and it doesn't matter like wherever the people have the problem are from. Worldwide, there are like 8 billion people, so surely some people will have the same problem.
What are you building today and what are you focused on next?
I built like a few mobile apps for fun, which are like some strategy mind games. It's called like and back brain training, which is like some sort of memory game where you memorize it. And I also have a few SaaS applications. So I built a website called vo3gen.app, which basically lets you generate like VO3 AI videos, like the model from Google, but for cheaper prices. So that has been going well. I think it's at like 5K MRR. So it's been fun building that. And it's actually very similar to how I promoted LLM Arena before. It's mostly on like Reddit. We post on like Twitter as well. So that has been fun.
Finally, what advice would you give to people who want to build tech products like you?
Just a year ago, like we had models like GPT 4.1, which was maybe like the first good agentic model, and like Cloud 4 maybe. But now like the models are insane. Like some people claim we have achieved AGI already. It doesn't matter your age even, right? You can be like 10 years old, 20 years old, or 70 or 80 years old, right? You can be very old or very young. You just have to like speak and like have a good sense of product. And it's not like, you have to be born with it. Like you can just do it, right? We all kind of have stuff we want to build, like how something could be nicer. So, and with AI tools, I would definitely recommend using them, right? Stuff like Cursor, Codex, there's a lot of like, web stuff as well, like Lovable or AI Studio from Google. And they're almost all free, right? So, now is like the best time ever to build.
Thank you, Ahmed. Really appreciate your time and sharing your story with us. And for everyone watching, make sure to follow Ahmed on X to stay up to date with what he's building next.